Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our subscribers, both new and long-term subscribers. And welcome to anyone who's just drifting by and hasn't yet subscribed. Now, just a quick update on Graham. He's still in hospital. They found a couple of things that are a bit concerning. Nothing too drastic, but it looks like he's going to be there for a little while longer anyway. So while it's relatively quiet here, I thought I'd get on with this video. Now, if you're with me on one of my previous videos, you might have heard me say that I'd sent my die cutting machine away to be repaired. Well, it seems that it can't be repaired. And I've chosen not to replace it. I don't seem to have much luck with die cutting machines. But what I'm going to do is show you what I've done with, well, not all of them, but some of the dies that I've got. Because I've got loads and I didn't want to just throw them away because that would seem a waste. So what I've done, I won't bring the dies down because my table, although it looks pretty clear at the moment, if you could see what's to my left and right, you reel in horror. So what I've done is I've used some of my nesting dies to cut some card sets and some other bits. I'll show you what I mean as I go along. So I've used my rectangle dies and I've used that, which is, we're going to make a 5x7 card today. And what we do, this is a 5x7 piece of card, really. We're going to call that my card base. And what we do, we fold a piece of, I used A4 paper, or A4 card, I beg your pardon. I folded it over, put that on the edge, drew around it and cut it out rather than just use a die cutting machine. And you can carry on using your dies if you want to. I'm not suggesting that you should throw your die cutting machine away. Of course I'm not. But this is just an option because I realised, oh sorry, I just knocked my camera out the way. Sorry about that. I realise that not everybody has die cutting machines and perhaps there might be some time when you want to do it totally hands-free. In fact, that's what I might call my template collection, totally hands-free, totally handmade, because it is, there's no machines involved at all. So I've used that and I've cut another one down. This is, I'm calling this, I'll just pop that to one side for a minute. I'm calling this mat 1, which is a 4.5 by 6.5 inches. And I've used that to cut this lovely piece of card, and we're going to do this. Actually, it's double-sided paper, but we're going to put this card together as we go along. I'm not going to show you all the pieces and then come back and do it all over again because that would take ages. So I'm going to put my glue. I'm just going to use, this is a strong glue stick, which I really love. I love this is the it's not a plug, it's just where I happen to get it from. It's the W.H. Smith own brand. And it's the orange one, and the orange one from Smith is a bit like a tacky glue. It's really strong. So I'm just going to smother that on there like that. And it's quite warm in here today, so before it dries, I'm going to put that there. This doesn't cover it totally. It does give a little bit of a border. And I know I smothered my whole card with glue, but that's all right because it'll dry clear and it won't show. So I'm not bothered at all. So already we've got a really nice mat. And then I've made a second mat, if I can find it. Oh, there it is, it's up there, which is 4x6. And I've just used a piece of yellow thin card. So I'm just going to put my mat out of the way. And it doesn't really matter which side I put the glue on because they're exactly the same both sides. So this time I am going to put my glue on my mat. Then I'll show you what else I've used, which I picked out from one of my card making sets, which I got from Card Making Magic. So we'll come to that in a minute. Let me just get this on first and then I'll show you what I've done next. So when you look at all the bits without any paper on them or without any decoration, you think, ooh, that's not going to make much, but you'd be surprised how it comes together. So already we've got a card base. We've got 2 mats just from a couple of card templates. Now, I've also used some of my flower dies, and these were outline dies, and all I did, again, I cut them out. I drew around them and cut them out. Actually, if I white on white, you probably can't do that too well. So I did that with some of my flower dies. So these were, as I say, outline dies really. So I just drew around them and cut them out. And I've used some pattern paper. I've used rose print paper, as it's called. And I have drawn around and cut 2 of each of these. And so I'll bring them in. So I've done 2 of the large ones. And what I've done, I've used a piece of bling to put in the centre. and we've got a piece of foam pad on the back. So I've done 2 small, 2 large, 2 medium and 2 small. So we're going to put this together as we go along. So I'm going to take that off, and I think I'm going to put the flowers in this corner. Now it doesn't matter if it overlaps a little bit, but I don't want it to overlap too much because that background pattern is quite busy and I don't want the flowers to get lost in it. So I'm going to put one there, a small one just underneath. So as I say, I have cut 2 each of these. So the other ones I'm going to put in the opposite corner. So we're going to put that one in that corner, and we'll do opposites so that the relevant, so this one I'll put here so it's opposite that one. And the small one will have trailing up. Now there's a couple more bits that I've cut, which I'm going to show you. So already we've got a really pretty, well, we've got the beginning of a really pretty card. Now the other thing I cut, and again I'll put them on here so you can see them. I know they don't look much, but they're actually a couple of leaf dies, which I again drew round and cut out. And I have again I've cut 2 of those. Actually there should be another one, there should be 3. A small, a medium and a large, but the small one seems to have done a bunk, but it's about somewhere. But again, I have cut 2 of each, and I'm going to bring them over here. I cut them in green, and I'm going to use my glue stick for this, I think, because I want to slip them underneath the flowers. So I'm just going to separate them a bit so that I don't put them where I don't want them. I'm going to put one there and one there. The large ones, I want one on each side. So I'm just going to, it doesn't really matter which way round I do it. So I'm just going to pop some glue stick on here. And I think I'm going to put that large one just tucking behind there. That's why I used foam tape or foam pads, so that I could pop them up. Then I'm going to take one medium one and one small one. Put those 2 over there for a moment. And we're going to trail them, or trail those. Get off, I've got glue on my fingers. So we're going to trail those down from the small flower. So we'll quickly do that. So we're going to pop that in there and pop the other one, just tuck it in next to it. So I'm just going to pop that in there like that. And then we will quickly put the other leaves in, just so that I don't lose them. So this large one, I'm going to put here, I think. So if I just make sure you can still see what I'm doing. Fantastic. So I'll just pop some glue on there, slide that in there, and just, I'm not too worried about the glue overhang, because especially with glue stick, because it'll dry flat, it'll dry clear. So by the time it's dry, you won't see it. So I'm not too bothered. And one more. And then I've just got one more piece to put on, and we are done. After this little leaf, I've got one more piece to put on, and then we are done. So I'm just going to slip that probably in there like that, I think. Yeah, that's great. So that, you could, if you wanted something sort of like a clean and simple card. I don't do clean and simple very successfully, but you could just leave it like that. But I have found in my stash, you'd be surprised what I find in my stash. You'd probably be even more surprised what you find in your own stash. Things you didn't even know you had. I found this happy birthday sentiment, which was part of a kit. I think it was from, now, don't quote me on this because I could have got it wrong, but I think it might have been from a Hunky Dory set, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's the same colour as this background. And on the back, I have got some double-sided tape. And I am just going to decide where to put that because I haven't planned anything. The only thing I'd actually planned in advance was where I was going to put my flowers. But I might put that. I won't stick it down too hard. Yeah, I think I'm going to put that there. So we've got a happy birthday, and then we've got the most beautiful card, very simple, made out of, and I've just cut it from, let me just slide that to one side for a moment, some very ordinary card templates. So I'll bring my templates in. So there you go. So even if you haven't got or don't always want to use your die cutting machines, you can cut around your dies and you can make templates. And so from something very plain like this, which even when I was laying it out, I thought, might look all right. But you can draw around them, cut them out, put them together how you like, and then you can make the most beautiful card. And you can decorate this as much or as little as you like. We could have added some more leaves, we could have added some more flowers. But I think that's all right as it is, to be honest. I don't want too much because the flowers are really pretty. This rose print paper, which I got from the works, is a really lovely paper, and you don't really have to do much to it. Sometimes I know when you make flowers, you might curl the petals or a bit, or you might cut into them. But with this rose print paper, you don't have to. Just cut out the shapes and bung something in the middle. Done. So that's the easiest flower you'll ever make. And of course, if you die cut it, it'll probably be even easier. So there we go. There is our first totally handmade project. And I'm sure you're going to be seeing some more on this channel before we're done. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And I hope you give it a go yourself, whether you die cut it or whether you make your own templates. That's entirely up to you, of course. I started out by making templates before we had die cutting machines. And I did use my die cutting machine when we got one, not much. I didn't use it much, I was so used to doing it this way, but I actually quite like doing it this way. So I've actually chosen not to get another die cutting machine. I know I've got a stack of embossing folders, and I'm going to give you a few tips on how to use your embossing folders without a machine, but not in this video, in another tutorial. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. So that's all for today. I will keep you informed as to, especially for those who've been asking about Graham, thank you very much. As I say, he's doing pretty well, but there are a couple of things they're a bit concerned about, so I think he's going to be there for a few days longer anyway. So I'll be back soon with a new tutorial for you. And in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this one. And take care, have fun, and as always, you've guessed it, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.